everybody. Thank you for your interest in Pickerington School's Virtual Learning Academy. My name is Brian Seymour, and I am the Director of Instructional Technology for Pickerington Schools. Also, for the 2021-2022 school year, I will serve as the lead administrator for the Virtual Learning Academy. So this video series, and there are 4 videos in this series, all talk about how the Virtual Learning Academy is going to change, modify, and improve from what was currently in place for this school year. So in this video, we're going to talk about the timeline of events. We're going to talk about 5 questions to think about before you enroll your student into the Pickerington Schools Virtual Learning Academy, and then also the student and parent/guardian agreement to enroll into the Virtual Learning Academy. So the first thing is the timeline of 2021-2022 school year, which we've already begun with. All the way through the entire school year, we have been evaluating the current Virtual Learning Academy, which we know was created basically for the pandemic. As we move forward, we are hoping that this becomes an educational environment that is best for some students outside of even the use of for the pandemic. In February, we gathered interest. We had a large survey that was sent out, and about half of our VLA parents and the grand majority of our teachers gave us feedback, in which we used to be able to create some of these different changes and modifications that you're going to see over the next couple of videos. We also did that feedback survey. We also looked at interest, as in who was interested in coming back to the VLA currently for the 2021-2020 school year. We have about 1,800 students. And then in the interest survey, we're looking at probably somewhere around 300 to 400 students that are interested in the Virtual Learning Academy. On March 1st, 2021, we gave a presentation to the Board of Education on what some of these changes could possibly be and what our future plans were. We met with numerous teachers. We called these the VLA Educator Summits. We met with teachers from all different grade levels to have good conversations about what has worked, what hasn't worked, what are some changes that we potentially need to make. Also around that same time, we started having summits with parents as well too. We had 3 different summits with parents to get feedback, additional feedback from them. All right, so now end of April, we are now starting to talk about formal registration. So formal registration will officially begin the last week of April and progress into May 9th and end on May 9th. So please take some time to look over information on the website, watch these videos, ask any questions that you may have before then, but we do need formal registration to start the last week of April. And this all comes down to we need to get staffing in place, we need to get resources in place, and all of those things take time. And then they're also impacting what's going on in our traditional buildings. So we need to make all those corrections and changes as we go through. Once we do that, we're also starting on staffing plans, identifying which teachers, what support staff we may need to be able to give the students of the Virtual Learning Academy a very good experience as we go through. This summer, once we identify the teachers, we are going to go through some really interesting professional learning opportunities for our teachers and give them some more tools to be able to make the Virtual Learning Academy very, very positive. And then starting in August, we're back in school and we'll launch the 2021-2022 Virtual Learning Academy. So as you think about, should I enroll my student into the Virtual Learning Academy, there are 5 questions that I would like you and your family to really think about before you click on the button to enroll. The first one is, why are you seeking a virtual learning educational environment? Why are you seeking VLA over traditional schools? Is that a family reason? Is it this works better for our family? My student has some issues coming into school. Is it still that there's a medical issue or a concern about the pandemic as we go through? So really think about why you are thinking about enrolling in the Virtual Learning Academy. Question number 2. Will the Virtual Learning Academy meet your child's individual needs? We know that every kid is different. Every kid needs something different. And will we be able to meet those needs of your individual child through majority virtual methods? Number 3, does the Virtual Learning Academy offer a high quality curriculum? And just to answer that question, Pickerington Schools Virtual Learning Academy is going to be using the same curriculum, the same resources that our students use in the traditional format. It's just going to be used and look a little bit different because we're now talking about a virtual experience instead of a face-to-face option. Number 4, will the school provide opportunities to succeed and grow offline? So one of the things that we're looking at is what are some opportunities in small groups that we could offer to students that are offline? So not just a virtual experience, but are there some things that maybe our PE teacher could do something down at one of the parks and kids could come down? Or maybe our art teacher could do something in a studio space. Or potentially at the high school, we could talk about internships or job shadowings that kids could go out to. So just some other opportunities that our VLA students could have to be able to further their education that is not 100% virtual. And question number 5 is an important one for parents and families to think about. Are you prepared for direct involvement in your child's education? If you were involved in the VLA this year, you know that parents are a very, very important role in the Virtual Learning Academy. You are the ones that are home with the students. We are teaching through virtual, so we're not right there. And there does need to be a lot of support from the parents to be able to make Virtual Learning Academy a successful experience. So please take some time before you push the button on the enrollment to really think about, are these 5 questions and do we have the right answers? And is this the right fit for my student over the traditional learning academy? So if you are, here's the last piece, and this is the Virtual Learning Academy agreement. So there's a student agreement and then there's a parent agreement. And these are things that we are expecting from Pickerington Schools out of our VLA students. So obviously attendance, participation in structured learning activities. That means we are requiring students to be present for all Google Meets throughout the course of the year. Small group, large group, targeted intervention, one-on-ones with the teachers, those types of things. We are going to be requiring for those things. We also are going to be offering some of the courses partially, and we'll talk more about this later, in a synchronous and then sometimes a asynchronous. So synchronous means we're through Google Meet, we're doing all the same work at the same time. And then there will be some asynchronous time as well too. And that will be, okay, here are 3 or 4 assignments. Please go work on those. We'll see you back on Google Meet in 90 minutes or what have you. And those will change as the lessons go on, as the instruction changes. Those will be a little different as we go through, and your teachers will talk to you about those. We are also asking that all assignments, activities, and assessments be completed in a timely fashion as set forth by the teachers. We are also asking that you please communicate with teachers, with the technology department if you need help there, with myself, with any other leadership members that we need to, just so that way we can keep updated on what's going on and get any of your problems or predicaments solved in a timely fashion. The other thing, as you know, most of you right now, or if you're watching this recently, we're going through state testing for the 2020-2021 school year, and we are asking that students come in for testing. We do not believe that there will be any waivers past this school year, so students will need to come in for any type of testing when there's not a virtual option available. And then we're also asking, please follow the acceptable use policy with being on digital. Remember, we do have the ability to record all of the URLs that students go to. Parents, we are more than happy to give those out to you if you'd like to see, but please make sure that you are using your PLSD device for appropriate school activities, assignments only. The agreement on the parent side, pretty much the same thing, but a lot of support, a lot of supporting your students to record attendance, to participate in structured learning activities, to make sure they're going to Google Meets, to make sure you're communicating with the teachers or the district leadership, establishing routines, developing a workspace for them to work at, following the syllabus. Please understand too that 100% virtual, there may be some modifications or some changes that need to happen to special services through an IEP or through a 504, or if you're an EL student. Please make sure, parents, you are reviewing communication, emails, newsletters, things like that from the district. And then please make sure, once again, that your students are following the acceptable use policy. There could be discipline that's faced if they don't follow those appropriately. So with that, that wraps up video number 1. If you have any questions at all, we've set up an email address just for the Virtual Learning Academy, and that is vla@plsd.us. Please feel free to email those. I will be getting all of those emails directly to me, so you will get an answer back from me on what we can do to help serve you. So thank you so much again in your interest in the Virtual Learning Academy, and we hope to see you sign up. Thanks. Bye-bye.